Well, we're back. We're back after a little bit of a hiatus on this Memorial Day weekend in 2008. We decided kind of appropriately to bring up a topic about, well, I guess it has historical and military and veterans and pioneers subject matter, and that's about restoring St. Mary's Cemetery in downtown Ventura and all the political mayhem, I might say, connected with that. So we're going to cover that with a few roll-ins, and I have two wonderful guests with me on the show. We have Steve and Robin, who are activists with the St. Mary's cause, and Steve has been very active for 4 years plus and advocating them, and Robin actually has a little bit of a hands-on connection with it, with some family that are connected with the desecrated cemeteries, and we'll get into that. But good morning, folks. Thanks for coming in. I know it's tough to come in on a holiday weekend. Thank you for taking the time. I didn't realize it was going to be a holiday weekend when we booked this, but I think it's appropriate. But Steve, what's your connection with St. Mary's, and what are you trying to do?
I moved into Ventura a few years ago and happened to stumble onto a piece of property that looked like a park of 7 acres overlooking the Pacific Ocean with the Channel Islands out on a clear day. And somebody explained to me that, in fact, it wasn't a park at all, that there was 3,000 people buried there. Of course, I thought they were nuts. And because there was no markers, there was no telltale signs of the cemetery. And I did some minor investigation, went to the museum, looked at old newspaper articles, and lo and behold, I found out that in 1965, through to 1970, the city had in fact come to this property and pulled out some 600 headstones and crypts and family plot curbs and all remnants of the cemetery, and had carted them all off to a canyon up in the hills and dumped them, and came back and did some minimal grading and actually changed it, they say, into a park rather than a cemetery. And one of the most horrifying things is that they didn't exhume one person who had been buried there. They made the park right on top of the cemetery, the 3,000 graves.
So the remains were not exhumed and moved? There's still burials there.
There's burials there.
This has got to be the most unbelievable mess up or conscious theft of real estate property that I've ever heard. I mean, this is just crazy stuff, and that's one of the reasons why I got so plugged into it. Was to me, this is a no-brainer. I mean, why is it standing? I mean, what's behind it that's allowing this to stand without some kind of rectification? Do we know?
Well, the city has an incredible iron grasp on the doings of its holdings, of the city itself. They put forth a dictate, and they have intimidated anybody from doing anything. When the descendants stand up and try and do some, through the bureaucracy, they're put down. Through the channels of trying to resolve the problem, trying to restore the cemetery, the city has their mechanisms, their committees, their commissions in place to get what they want, the city, rather than letting anything happen that the people want. They have an incredible amount of control in that town, and they have had the control and get what they want since this desecration started in 1955.
I know you brought an aerial shot. I'm going to pick it up and let you hold it. Maybe the camera can get it, and you can explain what this is. And then we're going to go into a roll-in that I shot just a month and a half ago, so our viewers can understand what we're talking about. But that's obviously an aerial shot of the property with the two streets.
Yeah, this is on the left-hand side is St. Mary's Cemetery, and on the right-hand side is the Protestant cemetery and the Hebrew cemetery. This is a 1946 aerial shot taken. It shows what it was before it was desecrated by the city. There's 2,000 people here in the Protestant section buried, and 1,000 Catholics in this section buried there. And everything now has been removed and tossed, and what you have now is that same 7 acres, but by all indications it's nothing more than a dog park today.
Well, that's a great segue. I have a roll-in that the control room can go into with a little bit of music down low, and our mics will be open. So if the control room can go to that, and we'll view it from inside here, and we'll talk about what was shot a couple of months ago, so you can see how it looks. The cemetery, quote unquote, is being used today. So if the roll-in can go in, that'd be great. Yeah, that's it. This is a slideshow that I shot, and these red circles are the few headstones that are in the park at the present day.
Flush markers, not headstones. Headstones stand upright.
Oh, is that
a flush marker is flush to the ground.
Yeah, they are. They're just low, very low.
Right. They will not allow headstones to go in.
I see.
They only want lawnmowers to come over the top.
And this is the laughable rules of the park. The dogs must be kept on a leash, and dogs have to be picked up after. And as you'll see in the upcoming shots, you'll see that all the dogs are running completely loose, defecating wherever they feel like it, which includes on people's cemetery plots.
There's at least 100 people right underneath the grass in that picture. It's packed with the dead.
This is one for a child, which just destroyed me. I just couldn't believe this. But there's whole families there that are just being left desecrated. I'm trying to think of another word for the word, but I can't think of anything else. This is a Indian War veteran who was a Medal of Honor winner, who is still interned in that park. I believe there's another one from the Civil War, isn't there?
There's about 70 Civil War veterans buried there, and 12 Spanish-American War veterans buried there.
Which is unconscionable to me.
Well, it's also against state and federal law to not have their graves marked. The city is in violation of state and federal laws.
And you look at the dates here, obviously these are pioneers. I mean, 1856 to 1878.
This is a who's who of Ventura County.
There's a guy walking his 3 dogs, and they're all relieving themselves on this sacred property. I mean, this was holy ground, right? Consecrated.
This is hallowed ground. State cemetery law requires that there's a perimeter fence around the cemetery. There is no fence here. The city is in violation of state law.
Yeah, this was a couple of family headstones there with the nice little dog deposit right there with Mr. Hollingsworth. And
this is unconscionable. The city permits this kind of stuff to go on.
I saw nobody enforcing the park rules at all when I was there.
There is none. They say they'll